up, huh? Black baby. Looks like a giant rabbit. Hello and welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather. Got my pan. We need to go get the meat because I'm going to be roasting goat for dinner. What I've grabbed here are a couple of goat shoulders. We have several cuts that we break down the goats into on processing day. It's shoulders, legs, a saddle roast, and we also take a neck roast, and I separate out the two rib halves so I can make bone broth out of that. Now, as we cook the different parts of the goats and break them down for things like canned meat or ground meat, I will have many more bones for much more bone broth. So that's not the only source of bone broth that I have. But a lot of times on processing day, we're not doing a whole lot of, rinsing and making sure there's not hair all over everything. We're just trying to get it processed and in the fridge. And so I've got to rinse it today. Doesn't look too bad though. I talked about it in my last video, how we take off a lot of the meat that's around the ribs and basically give that to this shoulder cut. And that is what all of this is here. That would have or could have been left on the ribs, but we take it in favor for the shoulder. And one of the reasons that I've chosen the shoulder to roast today instead of a bigger cut like a leg is a lot of times we like to break up those bigger muscles and things into like little mini steaks. There's a lot less of like a large, meaty, muscly piece on the shoulder, but it's excellent roasted. Now I do have a video on basically hoof to freezer goat processing. Not basically, that is what it is. It's hoof to freezer goat processing. And I took this video last year during last year's butchering season, and I did make it members only, mostly because we do dispatch the animal on camera. We do gut it and everything on camera, and YouTube is fine with that kind of thing, but they don't necessarily promote that kind of thing. So in order to kind of safeguard myself and my channel and to recoup a little bit of cost, I mean, just for the effort, the video is just over an hour long. I have made it a members only video. I'll link it below. The members section of our YouTube channel has a bunch of perks, and access to that video is one of them. Alrighty, now if you have seen me cut up goat before for like steaks and things, you've seen me remove this outer skin. This is called a silver skin. This isn't the actual skin of the animal, but it's part of like the fascia of the goat's, muscle structure. This is something that we'd want to remove if we were cooking this goat quickly. But if you're canning it, really if you're grinding it into ground meat, or if you're roasting it low and slow, that just melts away. So I'm not going to worry about that. Now I've patted the meat dry, and sometimes, yeah, I am going to have to kind of squish this down. This is the elbow of the goat, and a lot of times they stay pretty rigid, not because the muscling has any rigor mortis left in it, but just because the meat's cold. A lot of times it only takes a couple days for rigor mortis to leave the meat. So what I've done is cut just behind the elbow so that I can bend it and fit it in the pan. Here's our elbow bone, just behind it, cut straight down about 1 inch, bend it. This here is just like basically a seasonal type spice all around. Goat meat is very good with warm spices like nutmeg and clove. I know it sounds weird, but it is really delicious. It's really delicious regardless, honestly. Goat meat has a lot of flavor all on its own, and you need very little to spice it up. Got our meat all seasoned, and now I'm going to put a little bit of bone broth in the bottom of the pan. The goat meat itself is going to release some juices. This will just sort of help create kind of a steamy environment, which is nice. This is bone broth that I made using goat ribs in the last video. I can never get these open. Maybe about a cup, 2 cups in the bottom of the pan just to coat it. A lot of time bone broth will be super gelatinous. I get the most gelatinous broth when I have a lot of rabbit bones in my bone broth. It's a little bit less so when I have exclusively goat bones. All right, so I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees. We're going to tightly cover the goat meat. I like to get my goat meat in the oven around noontime because it takes around 4 or 5 up to 6 hours for it to become really fall off the bone tender and delicious. So I've got it set to 400 like I said. We're going to put it in the oven and immediately reduce the heat down to 300 and just leave it covered, let it do its thing for, like I said, around 4 to 6 hours. All right, so it's 5:30 now. It's been about 5.5 hours, and I did turn up the heat in the oven in the last 15 minutes or so that I could make cookies in the same oven. They required 350 degrees to bake. Beautiful. There's the goat meat right now. You can probably tell we've got some drippings down there. We are going to use that to make the gravy. It's probably going to fall apart, but that's the point. Okay. Now, as mentioned, I will be saving these bones to make bone broth. They have already been cooked once, but as long as the bone is still really firm and you can't just snap it with your hands, there's plenty of goodness left in these to get out into your bone broth. So save bones even if you've cooked with them before. Maybe even especially if you've cooked with them before, because it's kind of pre-broken them down and adds a lot of flavor to your broth. Ma'am, is the smell in the air? It is. So here's our lovely plate of meat, lots of it there. And then the bones. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is stick this meat up here just to get it up off the counter while I make the gravy. And I like to use this same pan to make the gravy. So I'm gonna turn that up. I'm gonna sprinkle in about a 1/4 cup flour. Whisk it around. Now I did have a lot of seasoning on the goat, and so this may not need any extra salt and pepper, but I will taste it. It doesn't need any kind of seasoning. Perfect. That's what the gravy looks like. Bubbling a little. I don't need it any thicker or anything, and this is a good amount for us. If you felt like you wanted more gravy, just add more bone broth and some more flour and things and more salt and pepper until it tastes right, but that's perfect. So I'm gonna remove that from the heat. I'm gonna add the meat back into the same pan. Fat and all, goat fat is very good. It's very buttery and has a lovely flavor. So I've got the goat meat back in the oven, covered so that it doesn't dry out. The oven is off. It's gonna keep it plenty warm. But it's evening time, so we need to make sure we still have 7 baby goats in the barn. Good evening, bunnies. Good evening, boys. Well, there's Stormies too. Winnie, have you been in the protein pail? I think so. So we've got Spunky. Spunky is acting wild, guys. I am kind of sad about it. We will try to remedy that this week, but for now, I can see her. She's alive, she's good. We also have Kato, President Snow. There's Peanut. Peanut, where's your brother? There he is. I don't know how I missed him. He's right here. These guys are so sweet. I don't know what's going on with Spunky. Besides just genetics, Winnie was a holy terror and needed to be pulled from her mom in order to be social. We have a lot of great luck raising very friendly, dam-raised babies, but some of them just don't want to do it. These boys are good. Yes, you boys are good too.
What are we gonna cover a bucket?
Good morning. Let's try to tame the beast. Things are getting serious over here. It's good to see. I'm gonna close you out. I don't want to scare her. Okay, you stay right there. All right, guys, here's Spunky. she's turning into Winnie. And if you know anything about Winnie when she was a baby, that is not good. That is not good at all. And I don't really understand it. I haven't done anything different with her than I've done with any of the others that I can easily go up to and pet, except for the meat goats that we really haven't messed with. But she's pretty wild, and I don't like it. And a lot of the times, all it takes is feeding supplemental bottles so they associate me with something comforting and good, something that they want. Now, Spunky is a single, so she's got an udder all to herself. So this may not really work. She's probably not hungry at all. So we'll see. I really don't want to have to separate her from Winnie in order to force her to be nice, but that's what I had to do with Winnie herself. Well, that wasn't nothing. She actually took that a little bit better than Winnie ever did, actually, in the beginning. Okay. I can't find any bottles that fit the Pritchard teat right now, so I have this old baby bottle from when my kids were little. Here. It is leaking some, but I don't mind that. When they're just learning what a bottle is, that's actually good. They know that milk comes out of this. Yeah. Now, if you are trying to bottle feed a baby goat, it's a lot easier to teach them when they are much younger. Now, I don't like to bottle feed, so I don't tend to train my babies to a bottle when they're really little. I prefer my goats raise their babies and we come and sit with them and hang out with them in order to tame them. And that works very well. Most of the time, it works very well. I will keep doing this with her 2 times a day, probably. Trying to get her to drink. And what I may need to do is separate her out overnight and make her real hungry in order for her to take a bottle from me. Oh, we're dripping. It's okay. Yum, huh? Yeah, you can see that little Spunky here is disbutted. A lot of times, if they're a little bit wary of me, the second I disbut them, that's when all trust is lost. I don't really blame them. That's something that I experienced this past spring with a lot of the goats that we disbutted. That situation was a little bit different because I had very little time to really sit and hang out with the babies. I had also disbutted little baby Peanut, and she's doing really great. And so I think a lot of this really is just personality. It's how they're born. And it's kind of sad that this kind of personality seems to be genetic. But I know we broke Winnie of it. So we can break you of it too. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult if I have to separate her from Winnie, because with Winnie, I sold her mom. That was the plan all along. So I decided, okay, I'll just sell you now instead of when your babies wean, so that I can essentially force your babies to take a bottle. I'm not selling Winnie, at least not right now. And so it'll take probably moving her over here into this bottle baby pen, but we've got a couple of meat goats in there right now that really can go out with the big goat, so I've got options. I'm just trying to avoid that because there's a lot of benefits to letting the dams raise their babies. They learn how to be goats, and one of the main benefits that I've seen personally, having purchased a lot of bottle babies and had a lot of dam raised kids born and raised here, is that they will learn basically how to be a goat. They have great mothering instincts when they're allowed to mother. They have great foraging instincts when they're allowed to eat alongside their mothers. The only goats that I have ever had get into anything toxic were bottle baby goats because they weren't taught otherwise. Those of you who have been following the channel a little while, you know Feral, he'll basically try anything that comes from my hand, right, from the garden, and some of the other goats just sort of sniff it and they don't necessarily want to eat just everything that I hand them. Feral was a bottle baby, so he trusts me and he'll eat anything that I give him. Where his son, Bear, is not a bottle baby. And Bear doesn't just take anything from my hand. Now, Bear is a very social goat. He loves me. He'll come up to me and want to be loved, and I can handle him very well. That's ideal. I want a goat that I can handle, that is a goat and knows how to be a goat and doesn't necessarily rely on me for everything. But we also don't really want wild animals. So I'd rather bottle feed than have something crazy if I only have one of those two options. Why are you shivering? It's not that cold. A little bit more bottle, and then I'll let you go. I probably need to sit and pet her too, because this feels good. Sometimes with dam-raised babies, when you're teaching them how to bottle feed, you have to like push their mouth onto the nipple, and it can also help to kind of cover their eyes, because that's what they're used to when they're underneath mama. It's kind of dark, their faces are covered. She's just not hungry right now, but she's not freaking out. She's taking it somewhat. So I think this is progress. We might have better luck in the next day or so. Girl, can we not do this? That was the worst headache with Winnie. I don't really want to repeat it. You want your baby back? She wants you. She needs her collar back on, though. I need to make it bigger. She's not very far away from me taking this tracker collar off of her completely, because I think she's getting around pretty good. She can certainly run away from me pretty fast. There you go. There you go, baby. Yes. Winnie, you look so ridiculous with that molasses on your face. Here's your child. Hey, Gail. Hey, Gail girl. Gail is one that is slowly learning to trust me, and that's good. She was kind of a wild baby, and you can earn their trust over time. It's not impossible. You just gotta move slowly with them. Yeah, hi, baby. Yes. Sometimes you have to move at their own terms, at their own pace. We're not worried about you. Yeah, so you are super friendly. Super friendly frenzy. Felicity is Gail's sister, and she also used to be kind of skittish. She's super friendly now. And it just took proving to her that I mean good things.
Why I was getting so warm.
Oh, yes. Do you want to burn it down?
That's good. Thank you.
Good morning, handsome boy. Could I interest you in a rabbit ear? We'll have to make sure we give him the second one, because Buster knows that rabbits have 2 ears and he looks for it. All right, guys, it is November 3rd and it's cold outside. I think we have our first official killing frost today. We have had a couple of light frosts, but this one was a lot harder. Actually, I didn't necessarily expect this because it was supposed to get down to 35 last night. I really wasn't too worried. Woke up and my app said that the local temperature was 33. And normally as the sun rises, you'll kind of lose a degree. So it's cold. Oh yeah, see, these look wet, but that's actually ice. That there is toast. The thing of it is, I left the greenhouse doors open. Not the roll down sides, but the end wall doors. And I did that because when we're not actually hitting freezing, that's plenty for the plants I have, and there's plenty of cover for them. But when we actually get a 32-degree freeze, I don't know. See, here's what the plants outside look like. Huh. Amazing. Oh, that's amazing. Now, sometimes I will do things and take a risk just to see what happens and to see how fussy I have to get about things. I thought about coming out last night around 10 and shutting these end wall doors, and I didn't. That door is frosty. So it was a calculated risk, but that's not frosty or frozen at all. And it's right next to that frozen door. Yeah, all is well in here. This is my roselle plant that we moved into here to help try to protect it while it, you know, budded and flowered. And it did not like being moved at all. It looks like it's pretty much stalled because I've had the same size looking calyxes for a long time. And these calyxes came on before any flowers. So I think these are the flower buds, and then you let them flower, they get pollinated, and then you get bigger calyxes that actually have seed inside. That's what I've been waiting on, but I might not get them. So we might actually harvest these bud calyxes and do something with those at some point soon. Because the plant doesn't look really happy at all. But if you want to see a happy plant, come over here. These broccoli don't care at all about the cold. Look at that giant head. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm kind of hoping that one of these other ones catches up, because even though this is a big head of broccoli, we need more than this for our 6-person family. There's some that are not far behind. Now, with it being this cold in here, basically right at 32 at the doorway in here, that should mean that any wasps that were over here and didn't get taken out by whatever critter came in here and ate their nests, they're probably gone. And so maybe sometime soon I can deal with this monstrosity too. Look at this though. This is spearmint. I put that in the bottom tier and it's gone crazy. So that's fun. We've got some thyme still that's lived through my neglect. We've got some chamomile that came back from last year. Are you cilantro? I think so. I can't remember what I planted over here. Yeah. No. Parsley. That's what that is. There's some dill right here too. And yeah, the spearmint has done its minty thing. Good morning, Mooch. I think your pumpkin has officially succumbed. The frost does eventually come. They did grow a little green pumpkin that I saw. Oh, it's right there. And they have started to eat it. How are you this morning, sir? How are you? Oh, it's kind of cold this morning. Where's the other boys? There they are. Are you guys bothering the girls this early? Of course. Farrell, you are one majestic beast, sir. Good morning, Chloe. How are you? Fat and sassy. Your tomato died. I'm sorry. It's not gonna make it. It's alright, huh? Here, I found one. It's frozen. Do you want it? Chloe, up here, baby. She's so gentle. Such a good girl, Chloe. You really are. I almost shut this last night too, because I know I have some rabbits that are due to kindle, but they can handle the cold pretty well. No babies in here. Oh, she's got a lot of fur pulled everywhere. See that? Here, Mama, let's check on them. Oh yeah, that likely just happened. Can you see the hair moving over here? I'm gonna wait and give them a little bit because it's still pretty cold out, and then we'll come out and we'll count them later. Good girl, Sausage. Yeah, see, she's not even cleaned herself up fully. You did good. They're good and cozy. I'm gonna give her a little bit extra hay in case she wants to amend her nest. Or eat it as a snack. That works too. I just got back inside and took off my boots. Look. Yes, here's the other one. You want to do it on the milk stand so we can see?
I can't even see anything. It looks like she didn't put much fur in it.
She did put fur in it. She just covered them with the extra hay that I gave her. Here, if you hold it like this, it's easier to keep them balanced.
Yeah.
Got it?
They're heavy.
Yeah.
It's warm down here.
It's warm in there.
Oh, which one did she breed to?
I don't remember. It might have been Lincoln.
It has a. It looks like it has a little, like something on its head.
Oh, what a sweet toasty baby.
This one's so cute.
2.
That one's pretty.
Oh, wow.
It has gray sides.
That one's also very chunky.
4. Most of them are light looking. This one's black.
5.
There's still many more. 6. Oh, it
6.
looks like her.
That one looks like sausage, doesn't it?
That one's fat.
7.
Looks like baby. 8. That one has like really pale patterns.
Oh, that one might be a broken blue or a broken red. We'll have to see.
I've always wanted a broken blue.
What are we at, 8?
Yeah, that was 8. What's that? I think there's 10.
Not.
This one's black.
This is 9. And then you found number 10.
He's black, yeah. There's 10 of them.
Okay, everyone's good?
Yeah, they all look good.
Sausage had 10 beautiful babies.
I
I'm
think
pretty sure Lincoln is the daddy since Abraham wouldn't breed. He's too old.
this one has like gray on its eyes, but brown on its back.
Yeah, we'll have to see as the hair comes in.
He's fat.
It doesn't take long.
No.
Hey, Winnie, guess what? It's not always about you. I know, it's weird. Brush your nose or something. You look silly. Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, and this is not Sausage's nest box. This is Promptly's nest box. She is a first-time mama, and she's done a very good job. I didn't even know that she had kindled until I decided to check, and that's good. It means that she didn't have her babies all over the wire or in the wrong spot of the nest box. She hid them really well, and now we get to get a first peek at them. Now, I have no idea if she delivered this morning or last night. I think as of my evening barn check yesterday, she hadn't delivered yet. But again, I didn't stick my hand in here until this morning. And oh, I feel a warm nest. So let's see who we've got in here. So I've got one black baby. Promptly was actually bred to one of my Californians. This is very interesting. Another black baby. They're nice and round, like they have gotten plenty to eat, which is good to see. Look at there, a third black baby. Watch out. And a fourth one. They're so big and so round. She didn't pull a lot of hair, at all, which is okay. I did soup her nest box up with a little bit extra hay yesterday, and I only feel the 4 babies. I am feeling around to see if I can feel any potential dead babies that maybe have been squished to the side, any bits of placenta that she may have left in there, and no, everything is good. It's actually quite warm here today, but here they are, Promptly's first kits, and they all appear to be black. Isn't that interesting? Aw. Gorgeous little ball of bunnies. Now, I normally don't breed my smaller pretty bunnies, as I call them, back to a larger buck, like a Californian. Literally the only reason I did this was because if she didn't breed soon, Promptly was actually destined for the freezer. So sometimes does can have a buck preference, and she wasn't lifting for my smaller buck. We've named him Lincoln, and he has really pretty Rex fur, and so does Promptly, so I really wanted to bring more of that out. So just on a whim, as a last-ditch effort, I stuck her with my Californian buck Samson, and she lifted and she took, and so far things look like they worked out okay. You did good, Promptly. It's a good first litter. 4 isn't a whole bunch, but it's not super surprising for their first litter to be a little bit small. And you know what? It's probably okay. She's learning things. She's figuring out motherhood on this litter. Yeah, they're still in there, I promise. We're starting to lose a little bit of light because of daylight savings. How are you guys holding up? I'm actually waking up early, but the early sunsets are really throwing me off. But I want to show you something. So whenever we get something from a company to potentially showcase on the channel, I require us to have at least 30 days with the thing to test it out before we give it our seal of approval. So Levi's had this heated jacket for a little while, and we are coming into deer hunting season. When did you say it starts? The 15th?
15th, I think.
Ish, in our area, the rifle season at least. And he's been talking about wanting a heated jacket for some years. So we've been here and there looking at them. What do you like about this one specifically?
So when they first reached out to us and we were looking on their website and just seeing the different options and stuff they had, one thing that stood out to me immediately was that they offered a tall option, which especially for sitting in a tree stand or even on the ground, whatever, it's nice to be able to sit and still have your lower back covered. So this is the long, large option. This is a little big, but it also might just be because it's the tall variant, but the sleeves go well past my hands, which is...
See, I like that kind of thing.
Not the worst thing ever.
Yeah. And they're adjustable, so we don't let any drafts in.
And they have the Velcro cinch, so they can cinch down around gloves or whatever and keep the cold air out.
So I noticed that on some cool mornings, he's sitting at the table with this on.
Yes.
I think it's great. I love that you love this so much. Show us how it works.
So the jacket has 2 different like heating areas, so it'll heat the torso and the arms independently. You can turn either one of them on or off. And then it has 3 settings: high, medium, low, which is red, white, and blue, which I like. I can appreciate that. The one downside I see to it is for sitting in a deer stand at dusk or dawn, low light situations, or if it's gloomy out, whatever, the LED light is very bright. So I'm gonna have to either tape over it or something. I think even the blaze orange safety vest is going to let some of that light through, and it's just gonna be an oddity in the woods.
Yeah, it's not necessarily designed for hunting, but that's why we got it.
But it also is, it's not waterproof, but it's water resistant. So it kind of acts like a rain slicker, which is really nice for those drizzly fall mornings. And it's just overall, it is very well built. It's probably the nicest jacket I've ever owned.
And show us the hood.
And then the hood is, I don't know what kind of material it is, but it's very soft and comfortable, very warm hood.
That's a micro fleece.
One thing I do appreciate about it is the hood zips on and off. So it is a removable hood.
That is nice.
And when the hood is off, the collar comes up high enough above that zipper to where the zipper doesn't cause any discomfort.
Very good. So yeah, if you or someone you love is in the market for a heated jacket, it's Levi approved.
Yes, yes it is.
So our first goat, I said she was due in February. She's due at the end of January.
Close enough.
I might have to borrow this for the barn. Do you want your treat? You've been waiting like a good boy. Good boy. Good morning. So it's Wednesday. And as you saw on Sunday, we put away about 2/3 of the goats that we butchered about 10 days ago now. So we really need to get the rest of that goat put away by this weekend. But on Sunday, I did start another batch of bone broth. And this has more than just goat in it. I had some pork bones and some rabbit bones in the freezer that I cleaned out on the front porch. And so we've got to put this away. Now, since I made a batch of bone broth pretty recently, I still have a lot of it in the fridge. I could can it, but I still have a lot of it canned. And so what I think I'm going to do with this batch is put it in some gallon-sized jars, let it come to like room temperature, and actually freeze dry this. I really like freeze-dried liquids because not a lot of things freeze-dried actually kind of condense down in size and take up less space. Bone broth and milk and other liquids are very good at that, and so it's a good way for me to store a lot of broth in a smaller amount of space that weighs a lot less. This funnel that I have is a Weck canning funnel. Got it at weckjars.com, and it fits very nicely on top of a gallon jar. All right, so it's much later now. The freeze dryer is doing its thing with the bone broth. I have the big pot going because I have a whole goat that I'm gonna try to shrink wrap in a turkey bag. I've got the organ meats all cubed up because we're gonna add this to our ground meat this weekend. In here I have livers, kidneys, and hearts. And then over here I have started another round of tallow rendering. So we'll get to the shrink wrap in a second. It is getting to be sundown, so we need to go make sure we have all the baby goats. I think the odds are pretty good that we've got them all here. It's been a while since anybody got trapped down at the pond, and they're getting older now, so they are able to keep up with the herd really well. Sounds like somebody thinks he's a big bad buck. Is that you, amigo? What about you, Walter? This little guy. He got a home. Oh, it's definitely Walter. Being a big bad buck. What happened over here, guys? So I see Winnie with Spunky, as you can clearly see. We have not taken her away and decided to bottle feed. My daughters actually helped me remember that we bottle fed Melee and it didn't help. And so to put forth a lot of effort in the responsibility of bottle feeding, into making sure I'm like religiously milking Winnie, I'm not sure I have that in me right now. I would do it if I was selling her and she was super duper wild, but my daughter can actually go up to Spunky pretty easily, pick her up, and it's gonna be her job to tame little Spunky. Melee is coming around, so I think we're taking the slow and steady approach with her instead of trying to forcibly tame her with a bottle. You girls are looking very wide this evening. Holy moly, Shindy. Is that good hay? We've got a little mess down here. Here's the two babies I was wondering about. Rodeo and little Miss Peanut. Peanut does have an official registered name now. So she's the only one with a little collar left. The other ones have fallen off. Hey, Rodeo. Hey, girl. So yeah, her barn name has been Peanut, but her registered name is Nyx, like the Greek goddess of the night. We already have us an Elpis, Greek goddess of hope, and with her lovely black coloring, it just seemed to fit. It also kind of fits our chaos and pandemonium theme as well. Oh, it's she's so cute. Little Nyx. She's a good girl. And everybody looks like they're here. They're up on Hay Mountain, enjoying the grub. There you go, sweet girl. You're so cute. Goodness. here's the big shrink wrap bag. I hope the whole goat fits in here. I think it should. This is how we've had it since butchering day, just in an unscented garbage bag. We kind of wrapped it up like you do with a rabbit, tucked the back legs into the rib cage for a nice shape for inside the bag. That's gonna work nice. All right now, zip tie, and I have a silicone straw. I'm gonna insert this into the bag so that as we shrink wrap it, the excess air can escape. Get everything cozied up in the bottom. You see all this air? The shrink wrapping is really gonna force all that out. It's been a while since I shrink wrapped. I do prefer the vacuum sealer, but these bags were gifted to me and I wanna see how it works. So I've got the straw kind of decently deep down into the bag, and we are going to give it a little bit of a twist, being careful not to cinch off the straw. And I am going to loosely put this zip tie around everything. This is the temperature of my water. Let's see. Starting to shrink pretty nicely. What I'm going to do is start to pull out this straw and try to get a little bit more air and suction out of the top over here. Put it in at an angle. Woo, be careful. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is remove the straw. Spin it around and cinch down on the zip tie. Now when I have shrink wrapped rabbits like this, what I like to do is cut off the excess both from the zip tie and from the bag, and then I'll dip this top part down in to kind of just help cinch everything together. So, being very careful. It's hot water. Woo! There we are. Looks like a giant rabbit. Now I know a lot of you are wondering probably how much this weighs. As far as I know, my kitchen scale doesn't go up past 10 pounds. Yeah, overload. I gotta go get the baby goat scale. It's just to help hold them up. It was actually just over 10 pounds. 10.67 pounds. That's a whole Nigerian dwarf goat that probably weighed about 35 pounds live weight. And so that checks out. You usually get about a 35% return, at least with dairy goats. And for reference too, this is a purebred Nigerian dwarf goat that was born in March and processed in October. We also processed a purebred Nigerian dwarf goat that was a year old, so about 4 months older than this one. He was actually a lot bigger. This goat wasn't from my herd. My friend Megan has smaller goats than I do, and Lightning, the other goat that we processed, is from my herd, and I just have larger goats. Lightning was separated into about 3 separate meals. Technically, this would be around 2 meals. So we got 1 extra meal for about 4 months worth of growth. So you kind of have to weigh your options, whether or not it's worth taking them out a little bit longer or not, depending on the time of year. Lightning was a Nigerian dwarf that was born in the fall time, and a lot of times in fall, they're not taking a whole lot, especially when they're little. So they're drinking mama's milk, they're eating a little bit of grain and hay, but the majority of their growth for us is during that spring and summer before they are processed. And so it works out for us for our 90s to go a year, but it kind of depends on when they're born. If they're born in spring, I probably wouldn't take a larger goat like that through winter just to get a little bit of extra growth, because they're not doing a ton of growth over winter. It's more kind of maintenance mode. That's what a whole Nige looks like, all shrink wrapped. Anyway, that's what I have for you guys today. Obviously, we're not going to be unpacking the freeze dryer in this video, but we'll do that next video, and I will be doing something with the tallow. Possibly not in the next weekly vlog, but sooner than that. This weekend, we are going to be grinding up the goat with the organ meat, and I'll be putting something fun together with this, so stay tuned.